suppose that most of you who watch me are also avid watchers of Tommy Robinson. Whether you are watching because you are a fan or whether you're a little old troll. In any case, you're keeping track of what he's doing. Well, a couple days ago I saw the video he posted about how he took his family to a kids' swimming pool water park, and he said that there was a man who sexually assaulted his daughter. And then there was an ensuing altercation. I guess he and the man got into a fight. Then the police came, and then, of course, the police arrested him because, he's Tommy Robinson. So now he's facing another court trial and, maybe jail time, fines again. Well, now, first of all, in general, the left is on the decline. They have lost. With Brexit sweeping and Boris Johnson in there doing a good job, things are looking up for Britain. I mean, there's still many hurdles to face, but things are looking up. And I believe that Boris will get the job done. He has the courage to do it. He can do it. So, that being said, I've also noticed a little bit of relaxing in some areas with the left. Like, for instance, well, first of all, they said that they let Tommy Robinson post videos again, so that's something. And also, Tim Pool was saying that the Facebook was also, banning some of the left's fake news. So I think we are seeing a shift. That the left is starting to realize that they are going to be toast unless they work with us. Which is good, which is what needs to happen. They need to realize that they are not dealing with just pushovers. They are dealing with tough hombres. And that they have to come to the table and work with us. That they can't just run roughshod over us anymore. So I believe we're starting to see that. They're coming to terms with the fact that they just can't get away with everything they want, and they're going to have to work with and give and take with the conservatives. Okay, that being said, back to Tommy Robinson. I said there are still going to be stragglers. I mean, after any war, there are still soldiers, like guerrilla warfare. There's still different people who are unhappy with the way the war turned out, and they're going to cause trouble. Fact of the matter. And of course, Tommy Robinson being Tommy Robinson, there's still a lot of leftists that have it in for him. And like you said, it's a feather in their cap if they can get him into trouble. And they get some fame and publicity. They probably start themselves a GoFundMe account and make $1 million because they, attack Tommy Robinson. Now, of course, I'd like to hear how the left is going to try to defend men grabbing children in kiddie pools. But I'm sure they'll come up with a defense, because they're the left. Now, first the left might say, that the man didn't know it was Tommy Robinson's daughter, which is still no excuse, because grabbing any children is still bad. I mean, if that's going on, that kiddie pool place is going to need to be closed down if it's attracting predators who are assaulting the customers. But no. Anyhow, these guys are not stupid. If they wanted to target Tommy Robinson and his family, all they had to do was just be there. You can see who comes with who and who hangs out with who, so it would only take them a couple of seconds to determine which kids were Tommy Robinson's kids by who's with him. It wouldn't take them much. So even though the wider audience of us out here have never seen his kids for security reasons, I mean, anybody who's around him can see his kids and knows what they look like. So, very easily could have been a targeted, planned attack. Now, another thing is about Tommy Robinson's personality. He's like Trump. I guess there's a lot of guys like this. They're just strong. They're just tough. They're just rough. They're just boom. They're just, I mean, I understand lots of men will beat people up who bother their family. I mean, my grandmother used to say, if anyone bothers my granddaughters, I'll punch them in the nose and stomp on their toes. And that was my grandmother. So yes, families are protective. So if someone, assaults their family member, they're in for a bruising. But see, the left, they're not used to being caught. They're not used to suffering consequences for their actions. And plus, and I don't know, the thing with the UK police, we're getting to them. But see, everyone knows that Tommy Robinson has a volatile temper. He's kind of like Trump. They have strong tempers. And so I believe that very easily the left is baiting him. They're baiting him. They want to cause him grief. I think their operations have shrunk considerably, but there's still, a group of leftists who are out trying to get Tommy Robinson in trouble. So it doesn't take much for them to get him riled up. They know how to push his buttons. And considering all the threats that his family's faced before, this can be the way they try to get to him. And they know that he will react, and they know he will fight back. So this is their clue. Like I said, they know what buttons to push to get him to fight back, to get him back into court. And then we have those UK police. Those police that spend their time out pursuing non-crimes and Twitter jokes. Honestly, the taxpayers need to do something about those clowns, because that's what they are. But really, these kind of things have been going on, I guess, throughout history. There's this one comedy short back from the 1930s. It's satirizing the police. It has, it's like with the Keystone Cops. The sergeant's at the desk, he's sort of being lazy, and he answers the phone, and he's like, "A murder? That ain't news. We had 3 yesterday." And then the phone rings again. "What? A car parked on the wrong side of the street?" He bangs the bell and calls out the whole 20, 30 Keystone Cops, and they're all tripping, banging into each other, falling down, So it's a problem that has been with the police, Basically, they're going to ignore important crimes, and they're going to go out and hunt for a car parked on the wrong side of the street. Now, that's extreme case scenario, but I would say that extreme case scenario fits with the UK police. So, of course, they're going to arrest Tommy Robinson because he put up a fight, and we know the courts are going to rule against him. We know he pretty much doesn't have a prayer in court. So, this is where we are again. I would say that he should try to be careful and don't let the left provoke him. Be careful. But, he is who he is, just like Donald Trump is who he is. Their success is partially based on their temper, their fury, their power behind it. And even though they might get themselves into trouble a little more often than some of us would, that's who they are. So I'm not going to ask them to be any different than what they are. But Tommy needs to be careful because, like I said, the left, they're baiting him. They are baiting him for harassment, and like I said, they want to see him get back into jail. They want to keep finding him and stuff. So we really need to watch out. The left in general is on decline and going downhill. Just listen to Dr. Turley and Tim Pool. But there's always going to be residual leftists that are around, and they're out to get Tommy, and that's where we are. It's going to have to be vigilant and just watch and safeguard the family and all that, and try not to let them push your buttons. So stay safe. Okay. There's my thoughts on what's going on right now. Like I said, as far as the police are concerned, that's something we're going to have to work on. Got to dig out the corruption, drain the swamp. We need to drain the swamp. Usually the corruption's flowing down. We've got to find out who are the corrupt people at the top. Who are the corrupt people at the top that are putting the police out to work on jokes and comments. because that's a form of authoritarianism. That's anti-free speech. And of course, I mean, unfortunately, Britain doesn't have free speech, but I mean, they really ought to have something. They really ought to. So we need to look into that and see what's illegal about it. But for now, one thing at a time. At least we're thankful we're in a lot better place than we were before. Because when we thought, lots of people thought that Britain was going down for the third and last time, there was no future, no hope. And then we got Boris, and he's a huge improvement. And I said the show of voter support for the nationalists and conservatives is just, I'm sure, very heartwarming and very hopeful. And I mean, even though I know Britain, everyone's worried about becoming a minority in their own country, and I guess that is a scary thing, but I said we just need to keep reinforcing, you know, the honesty, the character, just the culture. I mean, I believe there's many people in the British culture from other countries that who love the British culture, and they want to uphold it. So that's the most important thing. You need to pass on the values, pass on the cultural values, pass on the law and order, the civilization. So, I mean, it doesn't really matter about how, I mean, the ethnicity turns out, just as long as they have the British values and love their country and want to make it great again. God bless. Let freedom ring.